I just realized they both have a history with James Bond in a sense because Tom Jones did Thunderball for the main theme, and Alice Cooper almost did the main theme for The Man with the Golden Gun. Wow. Hello, everyone. I'm Mitchell Ryan Darcy, and I just watched, in the last 2 weeks, I just watched Alice Cooper live at the Windsor Casino in Windsor, Ontario, and Tom Jones live at the Windsor Casino in Ontario. It was very unexpected because originally I wasn't, because every now and then you get those offer from the casinos or whatnot of bands or playing or whatever, because they want to try and hook you into the casino and whatnot and try to get you to spend money there and all that, and sometimes they offer free tickets and whatnot. Originally I was like, oh, they're performing, do you want to actually go? And I'm like, not really. And then my mom said to me, hey, I just got free tickets, you want to go? And I'm like, you know what, sure. So it's one of those situations where it's kind of like, initially, like, I like Alice Cooper and I like Tom Jones, but it's like I'm not like a total diehard fan. Like, I'm not going out of my way to watch their stuff. So it's kind of like I like their music, love their music, the ones that I've heard, but I'm not as well versed in their discography and all whatnot. Alice Cooper's concert on a Sunday. Tom Jones one, I would have to take off a day off of work because it was on a Friday. But I was like, you know what? Why not? Because it's like, I just thought of it several times, but when it comes to music and bands, it's like, they're not going to be here forever. Eventually, you're just not going to get a chance to see them. Like, for example, I really wanted to see Elton John perform in Toronto, especially for his last show, especially because this is the last tour. He's retiring, so it's like, and I kind of missed out on that. So it's like, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to these ones. And I did. And pleasantly enough, I had a really good time with both of them. I'm going to put a spoiler warning a bit because they're still on tour. And I don't know if what they're doing on stage is going to be the same at every place or from there on out. Or if the set list is going to change depending on location. I have no idea. So I'm going to put a little spoiler warning if you already have tickets to Alice Cooper or Tom Jones before the end of their current tour, because I'm going to talk about what I experienced at my show. It might not be the same at your show. So I just figured I might as well just mention that. My word. Because you got to remember, both Alice Cooper and Tom Jones were, they were been around since the 60s. And it's like, they are older, but it just kind of surprises me because if you look it up and it's like Alice Cooper is like 74 years old at this point, and Tom Jones is 82. And it's like, the fact that they're still going on tour, still singing their songs, and still performing is amazing. And the energy and the way they go about performing, they play to their strengths, but also at the same time just giving an overall around a great show. The Alice Cooper one definitely had a little more in the terms of special effects and sets and stuff like that, and even some theatrical stuff, which I will get into. Set list wise, Alice Cooper was like, they literally played every major song that I wanted to hear from Alice Cooper. $1 Billion Babies, School's Out, I'm 18, Poison, which is my most favorite song by Alice Cooper. Currently, haven't delve into his full discography to confirm if that's my favorite Alice Cooper song, but it is definitely my most favorite one. And he performed it, and he performed all of them, and I'm happy because it's like overall, it's like not only did he play every song that I wanted him to play, it's like on top of that, I get introduced to a lot of his songs that I've actually never heard, like the song "Hey Stupid" or "Steven." Those were songs I've never heard, and then it's like this is my first time hearing those songs like ever. If that's actually the correct names of those songs, I didn't really look it up as much, but now after seeing his concert, I really want to go into his discography, and I definitely want to, listen and track down some of these songs. Oh yeah, The Man Behind the Mask was one I really wanted to hear, and we got it, and we even got a surprise appearance from Jason Voorhees, who ended up killing some people on stage as well. I'm sure my mom was really impressed, because it's kind of funny, because my mom, like when my mom said she got free tickets to Alice Cooper, I'm like, you like Alice Cooper? Because I know he was more theatrical, darker, shock, horror type hard rock type guy. When she's like, oh yeah, I'll go see Alice Cooper. My mom thought Alice Cooper was in relation to Pink Floyd. And I'm like, Mom, those are two different bands, artists. And then what made that even more funnier is for the encore, he did School's Out, but it was also mashed up into, like, transitioned into Another Brick in the Wall, I believe, part 2, and then transitioned back to School's Out. And it was hilarious because I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh, School's Out, and then I'm like, yeah, that's a really good way to encore and end a show. And then it's like all of a sudden it's like, we don't need no education, and I'm like, oh my god. And I lean over to my mom. I'm like, well, okay, you're you're kind of right. Thinking about it, there was one song I kind of wanted them to play, but they didn't play. Kind of understandable is Alice Cooper's "The Man with the Golden Gun," which, if you didn't know, originally Alice Cooper was in consideration for the main theme song for the James Bond film "The Man with the Golden Gun." That was before I think it was Lulu did the main title theme song. Though I love Lulu's version, like The Man with the Golden Gun is a complete banger. I do like Alice Cooper's version as well, but unfortunately that was the only song, and I'm like, you know what, I'm quite happy with the overall thing. I'm not gonna let one song sort of ruin the whole concert experience. It was great, and I'm quite glad I went to the concert. You could see from the footage I did film of the event, we were sort of in the back right corner of the, we were right almost basically next to the wall. But even then, the way the feeder is set up, it's pretty good setup of a feeder location. Though I kind of wish they opened up a little bit earlier for people to get in, because I was actually, even though we got there at a decent time, the lineup was already, like, we were on the other side of the casino when we lined up, and then by the time we got for security, I really wanted to, because I generally, for going to see a band, I always wanted to go to the merch shop, check it out, and I did get an Alice Cooper t-shirt in my countdown of my top favorite music albums of all time video, which should be somewhere on the channel right now. By the time I was able to get through the merch line to get into the concert, they already started, so they were halfway through the first song, and which was kind of unfortunate. And even when I got in, there was still a ton of people still in line going through security. So it's like, if they opened it up sooner, that people wouldn't they wouldn't have this much of a backup. So that was kind of my only complaint venue wise. It was overall a really cool experience. I love the set. I love the energy that the band brought. I don't know because I just know Alice Cooper. I didn't know anybody else on the stage, like performance wise. I don't know if they're the original band member. I'm going to assume they're the original band members, but I don't know. I have no idea. They all did an amazing job. They structured it in such a way that they have their own little sections as well. Like when it was just the guitarists on stage, and then the drummer had his own drum solo, which was friggin' spectacular. And he he definitely had some cool tricks with the drumsticks that I actually haven't seen ever. And I'm still processing mind-wise how exactly he did that, but theatrics wise it was quite funny. You got like a big giant, I'm gonna say, dead zombie baby dancing around, and money and getting sprayed around. You got balloons that Alice Cooper pops, and then it, like, there's stuff, confetti goes everywhere and whatnot. And then you got like at one point he's like in a mental institute jacket, and he like tries to kill like a little like doll baby, and then he gets sent to the guillotine, and you actually have Alice Cooper, get beheaded on stage, and it's like very theatric, very cool. The main female performer on stage, that's his wife, that's Alice Cooper's wife that's performing with them on stage. So that's a really cool tidbit. I didn't realize it until, well, the end, where he started naming off the people and introducing everybody on the stage at the end of the show. Yeah, overall, really love the show. And honestly, if I got free tickets to go see Alice Cooper again, I wouldn't mind going to see again. It was overall a pretty fun experience. But if I ever find that you've changed at any time, it's not unusual to find that I'm in love with you. All right, come on, baby, tell me one more time. It's quite interesting, the changing crowd from Alice Cooper to Tom Jones. And how energetic. Like, even Tom Jones was pretty spry, but with Tom Jones, you do notice some of the health issues. Like, for example, when he walked on stage, he had a walking stick, and he actually sort of, because Tom Jones does talk throughout the concert every now and then, giving little stories and whatnot, and little jokes and whatnot. And he mentioned about his health and why he has the walking cane, and it was actually, I think it was his right hip replaced, and that was like 5 years ago or so. And then when he had another medical issue, they did an x-ray, and they were like, oh, you need to get your other hip replaced. So it's like, that's the side that needed the cane. So he can't do it now because he's on tour, and so he's gonna do that later on after the tour is over. Tom Jones was sitting for basically his entire performance, which is totally understandable. I wasn't expecting him dancing around and and whatnot, and it was a nice overall experience of a concert. They kind of did a really cool, because they had a camera in front of him, and they would project it on the screens, him performing right now, but they did like special effects in real time with the camera and editing and stuff. So it was actually kind of cool depending on the song. Like, for example, Delilah, you got like blood in the bathtub for some reason, and stuff like that. And then it's not unusual. It's like I think it looked like Paris-y, like skyline wise. I'm not entirely sure, because though we were a lot closer, and I believe we had much better seats than when we went for the Alice Cooper concert. So we were a little more closer to the stage, but we were on the other side. My one disappointment with the Tom Jones concert is there was one song I really, really wanted to hear from him, because, I mean, being a fan of films, obviously I wanted to hear Thunderball. And I totally understand, especially with the because he was kind of doing this tour because of his new album, or his most recent album. There was a lot of the more newer songs by him that he was playing or promoting, but like in the beginning, it did feel balanced, because it would be like two of his more newer songs, then two of his older songs, and then back to newer. But then there was some parts in the middle where it felt like it was a lot more of his newer music over his older music. And there was, weirdly enough, there was one part where everyone started leaving of the concert. It was like literally an hour and a half into the concert. So the concert started at 8, and then it was like right on the turn of the dime at 9:30. There was a large crowd of people that were just leaving. And I don't know if it's because of the songs or whatnot. I assume because it's an older crowd that a lot of them were trying to get out to the parking lot to leave before everyone else does, because that's another sort of chaotic experience, is trying to get out of the casino, and that when this big of a crowd trying to leave all at once. But those who stuck it through to the end, the encores were pretty great. You got it was kind of like an ode to 1950s rock and roll. Great Balls of Fire, Johnny Be Good, songs like that. The thing I kind of love about Tom Jones is he does feel like he is putting everything into what he's doing song wise. Like, he loves singing, he loves what he's doing, and for someone who's 82 years old, he is still pretty damn good at what he does, being the legend that he is. Honestly, I literally, when I got back home, I literally bought on iTunes his most recent album, the Surrounded by Time album. Yeah, there's some really good there's some really nice songs on there, honestly. Though my favorite sort of humorous moment, I mean, there was a couple of really good humorous moments, but the kind of, I think it's unintentional, because he has a hit song called Sex Bomb, and I have never heard the song. I was like, I totally forgot he did this song, and then it's like, when he's playing it, I'm like, oh, I wonder what the name of the song is, and then he starts saying Sex Bomb, and I'm like, oh. And it's kind of funny, because you can tell as he's singing it, he's kind of doing a bit of a smirk or smile, because it's like, he's 82 and he's still singing, I'm a sex bomb, and it's like, there's a bit of humor to it, and it's I just don't know if that was just me, but that's just how it sort of came across to me.
We recorded this song. As I was saying, it changed my life. We would like to do it for you, and it goes like this. Oh, hello, Gary. You appeared from nowhere. What were you doing in the dark? You were playing with your congas. They are rather large congas, aren't they? You naughty boy. Okay.
And I honestly think he really embraces that he can no longer maybe do songs as perfect or as the way he did them back then. So I do like that there's an aspect of him changing the song, not changing the song per se, but like changing the way to do the song and whatnot. Unfortunately, it is my least favorite Tom Jones song, but What's New, Pussycat? I think it's already a pretty too strong of song repetitive wise, and its bluntness. It's kind of more of a humorous song that you play briefly. You don't actually play the whole song, sort of thing. So that's what I get with the song. But I do like the song, but it is unfortunately my least favorite Tom Jones song. When he did do that song, when I knew he was going into the song from the story he was telling leading into the song, they had the accordion player, and I was like, oh no, they're gonna do this song with an accordion. This is gonna be either terrible or really, really good. And honestly, it was really, really good. I never thought he could renew me listening to that song again. But yeah, I even got his tour shirt, which is pretty cool, representative of him now. And you got even the tour dates on the back. I wish there was some sort of mention to his album Surrounded by Time, or even a bit of the picture of the album. I'm also a little bit disappointed he didn't, like, once again, going off of his greatest hits CD, which I probably overplayed to myself. Daughter of Darkness, Help Yourself. It just seems to me, because the band on stage, it was more just a more band. It's not like a big orchestra set piece type band or anything that seemed like those songs would need to do the more classical type performance. So I think that's also another partial reason why he didn't do Thunderball or Daughter of Darkness and stuff like that. And he didn't do She's a Lady. Man, I love that song. And I thoroughly enjoyed both concerts. Granted, unfortunately, if I had to choose one, the Alice Cooper one was just a better overall experience. But that's not discounting Tom Jones. Tom Jones, still a great performance overall concert-wise. It's like comparing oranges to apples. Though it is in the same genre of food, it's not. They shouldn't really be compared, I should say. But for free tickets, they weren't really free because obviously, me being in Chatham, Kent, the hour drive there and back, gas it costs, and then you got paying for food being there, paying for the merch, and then because of the way the casino is set up, it's like obviously you're gonna spend a couple cash on the on the slot machines just to either pass time or waiting for the concert or even waiting just to go home, because you don't want to run out to the parking lot just after a concert ended, because it is chaos trying to get out of that parking lot. But that's with most venues and stuff, so it's like it's kind of good to wait for a fair bit, But I still had a great time, and I wouldn't mind seeing both of them again. Have you seen Alice Cooper or Tom Jones live at any point in your life? Let me know in the comments below if you had a favorite experience of seeing them live. I'm curious to read about it. I like to thank my Patreon supporters. Thank you very much for supporting me and everything that I do. I really appreciate it. The next concert I am seeing, which was really the only concert I was planning on seeing this year until these two came out of nowhere. But I'm really excited. My next concert is going to be Muse live in Toronto. And it's not a major studio tour, or not studio tour. It's not a major like tour stadium type thing. It seems to be a more intimate event, a more smaller location wise, and maybe more bare bones, less special effects and all that and stuff. But it just seems like it's going to be a very unique experience, because they have the new album this year. And next year, they've already started announcing tour dates for Europe and all that. And so eventually, probably 2024, they'll probably go to North America again or something like that. Because obviously, Muse is my most favorite band of all time. And last time I saw them, it was during the Second Law tour. And it was, well, it was in Toronto, but it was a big stadium. I think it was the Air Canada Center. I could be mistaken on that. But I was up in the like nosebleeds, up really really high overlooking the stage, but like it like they look like ants. And so I'm hoping to rectify this with the tickets I currently have, which is going to be somewhere hopefully in front of the stage.